Happy Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another edition, another episode of the Love Your Vibe podcast. And yes, Donald Trump is our president, the president of the United States of America. Never thought I'd say that, but he is. He won last night. If you're in North America, you already know that. And, I'm going to say it right off the bat. I'm not by any means a Trump supporter. I'm not going to get out here and bash him. But all things aside, he is the president, and I will support him because I feel like ultimately it's our duty as Americans to support the person in office. Now, there's a lot of people out there that may not feel that way, and that's completely understandable because throughout the campaigns and up to the point, I had a really difficult time comprehending that he was the best candidate. And, I know both candidates had their advantages and disadvantages and their shortcomings and whatnot. But at the same time, it's just there's some things that I can't condone. And I'm going to say this and then just get right into the podcast. When people start to believe that your personal life has nothing to do with your professional life and vice versa, that's when you start to have issues. And I personally know somebody who's a really great guy who worked with him for years and who actually had a first-hand look at his behavior. Now, all I'm saying is, out of respect to women, out of respect to young girls, out of respect to whoever it is, we need to know that stuff that took place, no matter if it's past, present, or even future, hope to God it won't be future, it cannot be accepted on any level. I wrote in my blog this morning, whether you're the stockroom guy at Target or you're ready to be the CEO, by no means is it right to treat women in that way. So, with that being said, that's my thoughts on it. He's president. I'm rooting for him. I hope he does well. But all things aside, here's the topic of our podcast today. Making America Great Again has nothing to do with Donald Trump. And I mean that in every sense of the word. And the reason that I say this is because a lot of Americans, and I say this because I have been at this point a while back in my life, but I realized what the actual truth was, and people deserve to know the truth and how to use it. I used to put a lot on the government. I used to look towards the government to meet my needs, to help me in every single thing that I was doing, and I was so reliant that I became enabled to the degree of not even understanding my own personal power. See, that's what happens is people rely so much on the idea of what the government can do for them that they forget what they can do for themselves. And that is what will truly make America great again, is when we have self-sufficient, self-awakened, spiritual seekers of the truth who want to not only make this country and this world great for themselves, but great for everyone else that they come in contact with, acting through love, acting through peace, acting through faith and trust, and getting rid of fear, worry, and confusion. That is when America will become great again. Because until then, as long as we're living in fear, as long as we're consistently scared about what's going to happen or how this is going to affect us, and we're just living in our small little box, things will never change. It's not the president's job to pay my bills or pay my mortgage. It's not the president's job to pay for my vacation. It's not the president's job to pay back anything. Ultimately, it's great. And I look to Barack Obama, and I truly do love and admire Barack Obama. I look up to this man. I hopefully get the opportunity to meet him someday. But at the same time, throughout his 8-year term, there was never a time where he was paying anything for me. He was working on political affairs to help us out as a whole. But ultimately, it comes down to me. It comes down to you to decide what it is we're going to settle for in life. Okay? And we've got to make this decision and stick to that intention of what we want. If you want to make this country great again, you've got to ask yourself as you wake up in the morning, what am I going to do to encourage my fellow man? How am I going to leave an indelible positive impact on my community? How am I going to rise higher to help others realize that they can rise higher at the same token? And there may be some people looking at me, well, I live in a really violent area and there's a lot of stuff happening. So what can you do to promote peace? How can you stop the violence? You can stop the violence by promoting peace and promoting love. Mother Teresa was so great because there was a time when everything was hostile and they asked her if she wanted to participate in an anti-war rally. And she says, absolutely not. When you come back to me with a pro-peace rally, then we can talk. And so she understood, this is called Love Your Vibe, so we're going to talk about vibration. She understood the concept of what it meant to have the right type of vibration as you're going into this stuff. Right now, across America, there is a vibration of fear. There's a vibration of uncertainty. There's a vibration of confusion because people aren't willing to tap into their own personal power. And I guarantee you this is the truth. This is why people rely so much on a candidate and then 3.5, 4 years later, they're disappointed because he couldn't do all the stuff that they thought he was going to do or that he promised them he would do. Right? So stop looking outside of yourself for answers when all of the answers are on the inside. Ultimately, it's Congress. If we're real with ourselves, it's Congress and the House that make the decision on laws and stuff that affect us in the long term. So we've got to be knowledgeable of that. But more importantly, we have to set ourselves up to where we can succeed in every area. And when I talk to people, I ask them, okay, you're all involved in this election. When was the last time you picked up a book that was going to enrich your life? When was the last time you watched a video on YouTube that was going to motivate you to go out and get something done? When was the last time you sat around and talked with people who are in the same profession as you and maybe even thought about collaborating on a project? These are all things that we have to do on a regular basis to, once again, make America great again. All right? So, getting back to the concept of vibration, where do we start? Once again, social media is by far the most powerful entity around today. When I tell you people won't go a few hours out of the day, sometimes even a few minutes without checking Facebook, without checking Instagram, without checking Twitter, whatever it is, these outlets are so powerful. Why are we not using them to reach other people, to help other people? Now, let me stop myself. I'm not talking about everybody. I'm not talking about that the entire country is not doing this, because there are a lot of people out there who are promoting love, who are promoting peace, who are promoting faith, who are promoting spirituality to help people rise up out of the pit and take control of their lives. But at the same time, and I talked a little bit about this in my blog as well, how many times do we see world star hip hop getting 20 million views on Facebook or on Instagram? And, all of a sudden, then we get to a guy giving a speech on how to create more peace in your life, and he's only got 400 views. What is wrong with that picture? I tell you what's wrong with the picture. We're holding the wrong type of intention in mind. We become so fear-based that we become dull within our spirits and our soul, and we need something to entertain us. So what do? The first thing that looks entertaining, we jump at the chance to look at it, picking up that same vibration. You may not know this, but if you do, great. If not, when you watch something violent, either on TV, on the computer, whatever it is, you carry that same vibration with you. That is being transferred just as much as the lighter from a lighter to a cigarette or to a candle transfers that flame. That is what's actually happening. So you got to be careful when you watch these things that are the content is so graphic and so powerful in the sense that it can affect you and affect your life. You really want to be careful what you're exposing yourself to. So I'm not here to harp. I'm not here to complain or to get upset. But what I am here to do is just to show you how passionate I am about making not only this country, but the people of this country, because the people are the ones that matter. It's not necessarily about the country, about the landmass. It's about the people being able to help themselves, because you can teach a man, how's that saying go? You can give a man fish, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll be better off. Something like that. You get the picture of what I'm saying. All things aside, we want to teach people how to fish so they won't be captured within a labyrinth of struggle for their entire lives and then try to figure out, oh my God, the system failed me. You know what? The system is set up to fail you because the system only cares about itself. And when you realize that, you're ready to break free from those shackles and rise higher like you were meant to be, like you were put on this earth. Okay? So here's what I want you to do. Getting back to social media. Just one time a day. I don't mind having a good time. I don't mind having a few laughs, because eventually laughs helps your vibration to be better, to be stronger, to be higher. But use your social media to do at least one inspiring thing every single day. If you want to do 6 or 7, be my guest. Go for it. All the better. But at least one inspiring thing per day that you can do to help your community first. Well, first to help yourself. Second, to help your community. And then third, from there, to help your region, help your state, help your country, whoever is connected and affected by whatever the content is that you're posting. You want to be sure, right, that you're doing this, because ultimately what we need more of, and this is not only in America, this is everywhere. We need more love. And I'm not talking about like just any kind of love. I'm talking about the spiritual, godlike, unconditional love, to where you're able to see with divine eyes. I love that concept, seeing with divine eyes. No matter what, you're not judging people. You're forgiving people. You're understanding that we're human. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. And that comes with being human. You know, that is what we need. We need that level of peace, that level of clarity that we've talked about before, to where we can see things for what they are and not see things from our own perspective to make things up and cause unwanted confusion and ruckus. We have to be married to those concepts as it relates to every single thing on this earth, because through the concept and law of oneness, we are all connected. All connected. Guys, I'm running out of time here, but the last thing I'm going to say is, what can you do to make America great again? Has nothing to do with the president. Has nothing to do with the senator. Has nothing to do with anybody other than you. What can you do to make America great again? And first and foremost, you can't make America great if you don't start within yourself by making yourself great. So what are you going to do? What books are you going to read? Are you going to journal? Are you going to seek a form of spirituality? Are you going to help the people in your neighborhood? Are you going to work on building better work relationships, better work environments? Are you going to step up to the plate? Because if not, all this is a crock. It makes no sense if there's no intention behind it to make it come to pass, right? So we've got to step up and step out and do what I feel like this country has been needing for a long time. Don't put it all on the president. Don't put it all on Congress. Don't put it all on anyone other than yourself to be the very best that you can be and make this country great again. Guys, it has been an absolute It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you as always for joining me. Look forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks so much. This is Shaun Grant signing off. Love your vibe. Take care.